In the previous video, we had started learning about routing in React. In this video, we will learn more about routing in React. So the first concept we will touch upon is programmatic navigation. In the previous video, we had seen how we define links for providing routes for navigation. Programmatic navigation provides for ways other for routing other than link. So the most common technique is to use the history props and push the URL we wish to navigate to using this.props.history.push and push the URL into it. So let us see a couple of examples and how do we use programmatic navigation. So in the previous video, we had created this application My Portal, which displayed the details of products. And what we will do now is in the products component, show the brand names as buttons. And when the brand name or that button is clicked, it should navigate to the URL /brand/brand name using programmatic navigation. So this was the application we had created in the previous video, and the link of that video is there in the description in case you want to check it out. And here on products, we had shown these details of the products. Now what we want to do here is show those buttons for the brand names. So find all the distinct brand names and show them as buttons so that when we click that button, we use programmatic navigation and go to that URL for that brand. So let's see how do we do that. So here we have our products component, and this product components got the list of products, the array of products in props. Now what do we want to do? We want to find all the brands in this product. So if we just go and each product had these properties, these fields, ID, brand, category, and so on, and we want to find the unique brands in it and then display it as buttons. So let's do that. So let brands is equal to, and we will use reduce. So products dot reduce accumulated comma current goes to. Now the accumulated here is an array with all the unique brand names. So what we can do is we can just use a find. So accumulated dot find. So if this brand name was there in accumulated, we will not add it to the array accumulated. Otherwise we will do it. So what do we want to find? A1 such that A1 is equal to cur dot brand. Now if this is true, so if this is truthy, so we can, let me first write it using if this is truthy, then what do we need to do? Then we will just return ACC. Else what should we do? We can just say ACC dot push car dot brand. That means we have seen a new brand and we will return ACC. So let me just put the bracketing here. And what will be the initial value? The initial value is an empty array. So we can define brands using this format. Now there is a slightly easier way to do it, and I will just copy it and do that using a ternary. So here we can say accumulated dot find. If this accumulated dot find is truthy, we return ACC. Otherwise, what do we return? We spread ACC and we also do current dot brand in it. So this is exactly the same thing that we have done there, but this is using ternary. So let us use this one and I will delete it. And now that we have the brands, let's just go and display them. So here let's just say put a h6, and within that we can just say brands dot map br goes to, and we will just show button. And in the button, bt class name is equal to btn primary, btn sm, and on click is equal to this dot handle click, and we will just pass the value of br. So this is our button, and let us just give a little bit of margin, say mr2. So we will see those buttons. Let's just check this out. We forgot to put the text, so which is why it is showing it like this. Let's just put the text on the button. So we get all the buttons. Now we need to handle the click. So how do we handle the click? We will need to create this function handle click. Handle click is equal to, it gets the brand, and what should it do? Now this dot props dot history dot push, and it will push the URL we want. So what will be the URL? We will use our template literal slash brand slash br. Now that's the URL we want to go to. Let's test it. So if I now click on Snickers, it just goes to slash brand slash Snickers. Pepsi goes here, Coca-Cola goes here, Dairy Milk, and so on. So this part has been successfully achieved. And this is how we use programmatic navigation. So we have used link, and this is programmatic navigation. Let's look at the next exercise. Add a form to enter the details of a new product. When the submit button is clicked, add the details of the new product and navigate to slash products. So here we have created a component add product, which just shows a simple form to take the details for a new product. So in our nav bar, let us just add the link for the add product. So this is add product, and it goes to slash add product. Let's go to our main component and create a route. So route path is equal to slash add product. Render is equal to, and it will create the add product. We spread the props. Product info, that is this expected. So it's expecting a product info and an on submit. So product info is an empty JSON. On submit is equal to this dot handle add product, and we close our add product and we close our route. So this is the route we have created. Let's go ahead and check it. So we have add product, and when we click on add product, we get this form. So this is working fine. Now when the submit happens, let's define the submit. So we need the handle add product. So handle add product, it gets a PR, and we will use the standard let s1 is equal to this dot state s1 dot products dot push PR, this dot set state s1. So we will set the state. Now, what do we want? The other thing we wanted was that after this product has been pushed, we want to go to slash products. So what we can do here in the handle submit is, after this has been done, we can just say this dot props dot history dot push slash products. So after the on submit, it will just use programmatic navigation to go to slash products. So let's test it out. Let's test the application. So let's go to add product. Let's say product ID is ID 1010, brand Pepsi, category beverages, product name, let's say name 1010, price 33, and let's say the product is in stock. So now you can see we have programmatically used navigation to come to slash products, and it is displaying us all the details of the products. And if I click on Pepsi, now we get all the products with it. So the next concept is query parameters. So in the previous video, we had learned about route parameters, which provide dynamic parameters. Query parameters are another way to provide dynamic parameters, and they are found after the question mark in the URL. So here in this URL, we have slash products question mark min price is equal to 10. So this is a query parameter, and we can have as many query parameters as we want, which are separated by a ampersand or an and. So like we can see in this, slash products question mark min price is equal to 10 and max price is equal to 50. So here we have two query parameters, min price and max price. The purpose of query parameters is to largely use them as optional parameters. So they can be as many as we want and we want to handle. And they are a very, very powerful way of providing optional parameters. So how do we use them in React? So they can be accessed from the search field in location props. So like route parameters were there in match.params, this is in location.search. So the props has location, and in the search field of the locations, we get these query parameters. And to use them, we will use the library query string. So go ahead and install it using npm. So npm install query string. And what this does is it takes this location.search and just returns a JSON object. So if we just do query string.parse this .props.location.search, this library will just return a JSON object with name value pairs or key value pairs, wherein key is the name. So like if we go back here, so it will give us in this case a JSON with one key, which is price, min price, and value of it is 10. In this case, it will give us a JSON object with two key values, min price and max price. So using query string makes our life much simpler. So just go ahead and install it. Once you have done that, let's look at a few examples. So in the My Portal app, use query parameters to show products with a minimum specified price. Example, so the URLs would be like slash products question mark min price is equal to 30. So if that is our URL, we want to show products whose price is at least 30, or slash products question mark min price is equal to 55, or slash products. Note that the min price is optional. So in this case, we have not specified a min price. It may or may not be in the URL. So let's go ahead and do this. So here in our products, the first thing we would want to do is import query string from query string. Now once we have imported it, so let us now get our query parameters. So const query params is equal to query string dot parse this dot props dot location dot search, and let us just do a console dot log query params. Let's go ahead and run this. So here let us go to our inspect and to our console. So if we go to products, we get, let me just say, query parameters, comma, so that we know the. So if we go to products, we get query parameters. So it's an empty JSON. Here, if I just said question mark min price is equal to 20. Now we can see we get the query parameters min price is equal to 20. Similarly, we could have just said using and if I wanted, say, max price or something else is equal to, say, 50. If you do that, you can see here in the query parameters, we get max price. So we get a JSON. That is what a query string has done and given us. So it gives us a standard JSON object. Once we have gotten this, we just need to filter our products one. So we can just say products one is equal to. Now we'll destructure our query params. So I can just say let min price equal to query params. Products one is equal to. So if min price is truthy, which means there is a value to it, and note that all the values in query parameters are strings. So we'll just need to filter products one. So we can just say products one dot filter PR such that PR dot price is greater than equal to min price. Now this will not work because this is a string. So I will just convert it into a number. And this is a filter, which otherwise it is products one. So this is, we have filtered it and this should work. So let's go ahead and test it. So if we now just say min price is equal to 20, you can see we have gotten all the products whose minimum price is 20. If I make it, say, 50, we get all the products with minimum price is equal to 50. What does the next exercise say? In the My Portal app, use query parameters to show products with a specified price range and stock. Keys of the query parameters can be min price, the one that we did in the previous exercise, max price, and in stock. In stock has a value yes or no. So the possible URLs that we are seeing, some of them have been given here. Products question mark min price is equal to 30 and max price is equal to 60. Products question mark in stock is equal to no. Products question mark min price is equal to 30, max price is equal to 60, and in stock is equal to yes. So min price and max price are the prices, and in stock the values we want to handle are yes or no. So here let's go back to our products.jsx, and now here in we can destructure and say that we could be getting min price, max price, and in stock. These are the three we need to handle. So we already handled the min price. Similarly, I can do for max price, that if max price is truthy, so this should be less than equal to max price. So we have handled max price. So now we need to do it for the in stock. So in the case of in stock, so in the product we have true or false. So if the value is yes, in the params we want the true, all those with true to be returned. If it is no, we want all those with the false to be returned. Otherwise, we want to just ignore it. This is what we want to do. So let us now filter products one. So products one is equal to in stock. So if in stock is truthy, what do? We can just say products one dot filter PR such that, now if in stock is truthy, is yes, sorry, if in stock is yes, then we will just return the value in stock PR dot in stock, whether it is true or false. If in stock is equal to no, so if we got the parameter as no, then we will return not of PR dot in stock. Otherwise, let's just return a false. And if in stock was not truthy, was falsy, then we just return a say a false. So this is what we do. So let's just repeat it. So if in stock was yes, we just returned PR dot in stock. So if it was yes, means we wanted true. So if in stock was true, we will get true here in the filter. If in stock was no, we returned a not of PR dot in stock, so that the false becomes a true. And otherwise, we just returned a false. Now we have now filtered it on all these three, and we have handled the query params. So what we should now do is just go ahead and test it. So here we are getting an error, products1.map is not a function. So this is the error. This should have been products1. So no. So if in stock was falsy, we will just return products1. So let us now check it. Let me say in price is equal to 20 and max price is equal to say 60. So we get that, and let me just say and in stock is equal to yes. So we get all the true. If I just say in stock is equal to no, I get all the false. We can remove all of them from here. Let's just have min price and in stock. We can do that, and so on. So this is how we have handled query parameters here. Let's go to the next exercise. In the products component, show drop downs to take the input for query parameters. So like in the previous exercise, we had these query parameters for min price, max price, and in stock. We now want to show them as drop downs to take them as input. And whenever an option is changed, navigate to the URL with the specified query parameters. So we will construct the URL and use programmatic navigation to go there. So here we have just constructed three drop downs, and the first drop down is for min price, the second is for max price, and the third is for in stock. And the drop down shows some price values, and the in stock just shows a display of in stock with the value yes and out of stock with the value no. And we have just constructed three drop downs. In the stocks drop down, we have just mapped the value to st.value. And what do we want? Whenever a value changes in the drop down, we get the props.options and we just change that. We make a copy of it and just call props.onOption change with the options. So if we go to our products component, we will need to import this component. So let me just import show options from. Now what do we want to do here? The first thing we want to do here is just display them here. So let me just remove this brand part, and here we can just show options. What all do we want to pass here? We want to pass the options. Now what should be the options? The options should be the same as the query params we got. So those are the values. So I will just pass query params, and the other is, what is the name of the handler we want? On option change. on option change is equal to this dot, let's call it say handle option change. If we go ahead and look at our app, so we get the three drop downs here. So we are getting the drop downs. Now what do we want to do? We need to implement the handle option change. So let's implement our handle option change. It gets our options. And what does it need to do when it gets the options? Once it gets the options, it will need to construct a URL and call it. So let us say we call a function this dot call URL. Now which URL does it want to call? It has to call slash products, and it needs the options. The options have to go as a parameter. So we'll need to construct that. So let's now define this function call URL. So call URL is equal to, it gets a URL and options as parameter. And what does it need to do? It needs to first construct that query parameter. So let's say let search string is equal to this dot make search string with the options. So we pass the options and it returns us that question mark. After the question mark, the string that is there. Once we have gotten it, we can just call this dot props dot history dot push. And in this case, we will, because we are specifying two parameters, we can just say path name is our URL and our search is our search string. So we can just push it. So this is how we can push it here. Once we do it, our rest of the things will work. So now what do we need to implement? Make search string, which takes an options as parameter. And what does it do? For each option, we will need to construct that string. So let's destructure it. Let min price, max price, and in stock is equal to options. So these are the three options here. And let's define let search string is an empty string. So now for each value, we will need to construct that string wherein say min price is equal to the value given. So let's just say search string is equal to this dot add to query string. We create a function that does that. And what the parameters it takes the search string, it takes the field we want to show, what is the name we want to show in that, and the value. So what is the value here? Min price. Now let's implement this function add to query string. It takes three parameters. It takes the string, it takes the param name, and it takes the param value. And what do we do here? If param value is truthy, if the param value is truthy, then what do we need to do? If string is truthy, which means there was something in the string earlier, then what do we need to do? We will just return a str. We will need to append an ampersand, which is what we do. And then what do we need to append? We will need to append dollar param name, then an equal to is equal to param value. And if the string is falsy, then we just need to return this part of it. So let's put that into so notice in this case, because it was falsy, the string, so we just returned this. We did not need to append the ampersand or the earlier string. And if the param value was not truthy, it was falsy, we will just return the string. So it's showing some error expected. So the error is this standard error. There are no brackets required here. It just returns there. So this is our add query string. So once we have done it, we can do it for the others also. So max price and in stock. So this will give us our query string perfectly constructed. And once we get our query string, we can just go ahead and call our URL. So let's go ahead and test it now. So if I select, say, a min price of 25, it did not. Let me just refresh it if that was the issue. There seems to be some issue here. So handle option change is fine. Let's put a console.log handle option change. Let's test it. So handle option change is coming and the query parameters are, so it's not calling that. We did not return our search string. Return search string. Let's go ahead and test it again. So now if I make we can see we get minimum price is equal to 25, which is fine. Maximum price is 50 and in stock position is set true. If I say select stock position, I do not get it because here we have made these values also selectable and they give an empty string. So that I am able to remove that parameter. I can do that from here also. So we get this. So if I just select, say, max price is, say, 50. So we get all these products. Out of stock, we get all the false ones. So we have just mapped it to drop downs and we have now taken those inputs and constructed the query parameter and handled it. Let's look at the next exercise. In the laptops app created in the previous lesson, laptops component should handle query parameters for brand, RAM, hard disk, processor, and rating. Note that any query parameter can have multiple values separated by comma. So here in this example, we have brand equal to Acer comma Dell. So it has two options here. And this is one of the common ways we provide multiple values in query parameters. So this is another advantage of using query parameters. And like and RAM is equal to 4 GB comma 6 GB. Then it could have no parameter also, no query parameter. Or we have here question mark processor is equal to i3 comma i5 comma i7. So if we look at the app, this was the app we had created in the previous exercise, in the previous lesson. And when we clicked at it, the URL became /brand/Acer/1. So we had the field on which, or the category as we called it, the value and the pagination. So now what we would do is we will remove these route parameters and just replace it by question mark. So we will have just /all/page number and a question mark followed here with something like this. So this is what we are looking to do. So if we go back to here in the main component, let's first remove the routes. So we don't need the /category and we don't need this route. So all we need is the all slash colon page, and then the the query parameters would take over. So if we go to our laptops, so I will take out my category and value from here. And now we will use our query parameter. So I will import query string from query string. So now here we can say let query params equal to query string dot parse this dot props dot location dot search. Now that we have done it, we will get all our parameters. Now, what do we need to do in our parameters? We will need to filter it. So this laptops one will need to be filtered. So let's maybe create a function this dot filter params, and we pass it the laptops, the data, the array, and we pass it the query params. And once we do it, the rest should work reasonably well. And this is giving us an error on the filtered text. So filtered text is something we need to show, which we will show later. So let's just construct it like this. Now if we go back to our filter params, so filter params, it takes an array and it takes params. And what does it do? So here the params would be, we can just say let brand. So brand could be one of them. Let's just start with a brand and then we could figure out the others. Is equal to, let's call it, and let's call this say as query params only. Is equal to query params. Now if brand is falsy, so which means it has nothing, so I can just return my array. I don't need to do anything. If brand is truthy, now the brand, what could be the value of it? It could be like Dell, or it could be something like Dell comma Acer comma HP. So it could be one of these two formats. So what I can do is I can say let brand array is equal to brand dot split. So this will give me an array, and depending upon the comma separated values, we will get that array. Once we get that array, we need to filter our ARR. So I can just say ARR dot filter A1. So each element A1 should, and how should I filter it? That the A1 dot brand should be in brand array. So I can just say brand ARR dot find BR, or let's say val such that val is equal to A1 dot brand. Now if this is truthy, if I can find it, then it is fine, otherwise no. So this is my filtration function, and then we can return our ARR. Now this is the model we can use for brand. So let's go ahead and do it. And we remember, we are just doing it on brands right now. We will come back and do it for the others. Once we have done it, it is giving us error on line 65. Line 65, because we had the category, we don't need it. So I am just removing that. And the same thing from here. So now this is working fine. So now here, let me say brand is equal to Dell. There seems to be an error. What is the error? laptops 1 is equal to, we did not map it, let arr1 is equal to, and we need to return arr1. Let's test it again. So we get, if I say brand is equal to Dell, I just get those laptops with Dell. If I say Dell comma Apple, we get Dell, we get Apple. This seems, and there is a problem. We are also getting Acer and HP on the next. Why? Because here we did not link the parameters. So that's fine. We are not interested in that. So if I can just say comma HP, we get for that. So far we were only interested in this. This is working fine. We will integrate the rest soon. So now that we have done it, let's generalize it for the others. So we could have brand, RAM, processor, hard disk, and rating. These are the values that come in our query params. And in each one of them, we will need to run this filter. So let me make it into a function. So filter based on a param. It takes an ARR. It takes the name of the param and the values it has. And if I take this code out, so it should be, instead of brand, if values, if the values is falsy, it will return that. Let's call it values array is values dot split. And here what should it be? Instead of brand, I can just put it A1 name. And we can return ARR1. So now what do we need to do? We need to filter it. So I can just say ARR is equal to filter param ARR, comma, what is the name? Brand, and the values is brand. And this should be this dot filter param. Then we have RAM, processor, hard disk, and rating. And if we so this should work for all the filters. And at the end of it, we will return our ARR, the filtered array. Let's go ahead and test it. So if I just say and RAM is equal to 4 GB. So I get RAM is equal to 4 GB. This seems fine. HP, Dell, Apple. That's fine. And if I make it say RAM equal to 8 GB, this works fine. And let's say rating is equal to 4, 5. So we get rating 4 and 5 only. RAM is 8 GB. Brands is this. And if I say make it as RAM as 4 GB, 8 GB, 4 GB. So we get that. So this filter is working fairly fine. What next things we will need to do is when we are clicking on the next page. So here when we are clicking on the next page, we need to define the links properly. So the link will need to have the proper search string with it, which is what we have not defined. So we need to do that the next. So let's define this function make search string, which will take all the options and return the search string that we need to create. So this is similar to what we did in products. So we will just write a very similar code. So I will destructure all my parameters. We did this earlier here also. So let me just copy it. So we can now say let search str is equal to empty string, and we will now say search str is equal to add to this dot add to query string. And what are parameters we will pass? We will pass the search string, we will pass the name of the parameter and its value. Let's implement add to query string first. Add to query string. It takes a string, param name, and a param value. And what will it do? If the param value is falsy or truthy, let's check. If the param value is truthy, we will check whether the string is truthy. If the string is truthy, what do we return? We will return $str, then an ampersand, then our $param name, and that is equal to param value. This is what we will return. And if the string was falsy, we just need to the same thing without the str and the dollar. And if param was value was falsy, we just return the string. So this is our add to query string. Once we have constructed our add to query string, let's run it for the others. So we have RAM, processor, hard disk, rating, and we will return our search string. So this gives us an error at line 31. So this should be options. We copied it. So now that we have our search string, we can just construct our search string also. Let me just say let search string is equal to this dot make search string. And what should we pass? We should pass the query params only. So we have passed that. And now here in our next and previous, we can just after the page number put a question mark and then put our search string. The same thing we can do for our next. And let's test it now. This should work fine. Colon brand is equal to Dell. So it shows that. Let's say Dell, comma HP, comma Acer. So we get 1, 2, 3 of 14. This seems to be working fine, and let's just put it as and RAM is equal to 4 GB, comma 6 GB. If I click on previous, so the pagination is also working fine. Let's look at the next exercise. In the nav bar, brand should be a query parameter instead of route parameter, and change the links shown in the laptops component, brand, RAM, etc. to use query parameters. So because we have removed those route parameters from the main component, let's make these changes. So here in the nav bar, we had 2 is equal to slash brand. So we should just make it slash all slash 1 question mark brand is equal to $brand. So that's the change we would want here, and this slash 1 goes away. So that should be the change. Similarly, if we go to our laptops and the links we show here, So now in the laptops for brand, it should be not slash brand, it is slash brand slash one slash brand is equal to all of brand, and the pagination here goes away. Similarly, they should be all slash one question mark RAM is equal to all slash one question mark processor is equal to question mark hard disk equal to and rating equal to. So this should work fine. Let's test it. So if I go to Acer now, we get question mark brand is and we get a slash. Let's remove that. So there should be no slash here. So slash all slash one question mark brand is equal to Acer, Apple, Dell, HP. This is working fine. If I click on 4 GB here, we get exactly the right thing. And we have done this part of that exercise. Let us look at the next exercise. Along with the laptops, show a left panel which has drop downs to take the input for query parameters. Whenever an option is changed, navigate to the URL with the specified query parameters. So here we have created a component left panel options, and this just has a make drop down which takes these inputs and creates a drop down. Let's just use it. So in the props, what all do we need? We need the, let's call it say all options, which is what are the options in the drop down. We need the current option values, and we need an on option change. So whenever an option changes, we will need to call the main component and do that. So given all of this, let's put it in. So we will make a drop down. And how many drop downs do we need? So let's just destructure it. So let's say let brand comma RAM comma processor comma hard disk comma rating is equal to this dot props dot options. So these are the values that have been selected. Second, let's say let all options is equal to this dot props. So now we need to create the drop downs. So let's just put them div class name is equal to say column 12, and within it let's just show a drop down. So what all does the drop down need? This dot make drop down. It takes the array which has all the values, so which will be all options dot brand. Then it shows the value, which value is selected, which is brand. Then the name, which is brand, and the label select brand. So this is our structure. Let's implement it for the other drop downs. So we will have 5 of them. The second one will be RAM. So all options dot RAM and select RAM. Next is processor. Hard disk, and then we have rating. So now that we have added the drop downs, let's implement our handle change. So the standard way, let's destructure the event. Is equal to E. Now here we do not have a state, we are just using the props. So let's make a copy of the props. So let options is equal to this dot props dot options, and we will just update the options. So options input dot name is equal to input dot value. So we will update the options, and then we just need to call the function. Which function should we call? On option change. So we can just call this dot props dot on option change and pass it the options. So this should work fine for us. Now that we have done it, let's just go back to our laptops. Let's import left panel options from and we just show it. So here let's just create a row. Div class name is equal to row, and let's just take this to the bottom, and within this we will just create a left and a right. So div class name is equal to column 3, and this is where we will have our left panel options. We'll pass the props after we do it. So div class name is equal to column 9, so here will be our left options. Now what all props do we want? We want to pass all options, then we need to pass options. Now what will be options? Options will be same as our query params, so we can pass that. We need to pass our on option change is equal to this dot handle option change. So this is what we need to do. So let's call here, say, name this as say all options. So now what should all options have? All options should have all the values we want to show in the drop down. So how do we get all the values in the drop down? So all options will need, so let's say if we define a function make all options, and it say gets the laptops, which is the array, or let's just call it array, as parameter. And for each of these, so brand processor, for each of this it will need to get all the possible values in the array. So how can we do that? Let's define a function. Let's say let JSON be an empty JSON. We want to say JSON dot brand is equal to all the brands that are there, all the different brands that are there in this array. So let's make another function, get different values. It takes an array and it takes the name of the which field it wants. So this is what we want to define. So we can just say arr dot reduce accumulated comma current. Now if we will just find this value in the current, so we can just say current dot find val such that val is equal to ACC of this name. So this is the field we want. So if this is truthy, then what should we return? We should return ACC. Else what should we return? We will need to spread it. So we will just spread our current and also ACC name. Something we have done earlier, and this gets initialized with an empty array. And we don't need this, it will just get returned. So this is our value, so we can just say get different values ARR comma brand. Similarly, we can just put the other values here. JSON.RAM, JSON.processor, hard disk, and rating. And we can return our JSON. So once we get our JSON here, let's make that before our render. Let all options is equal to this dot make all options, and we just pass the laptops to it. So now that we have passed it, we just need to now implement our handle option change. So let's put our handle option change. It gets our options. And right now, let's just say we do nothing. Let's test it so far. Car.find is not a function. Let's check it out. Where did we defined car.find? We put it here. It should be accumulated.find, and this should be accumulated. That's the error we made, because it's in the accumulated that all the values are getting accumulated, and this should be car name. So we made this error here. Let's test it. So here we can see we get all the 5 drop downs. So this has all those values: RAM, processor, hard disk, and rating. So this is working fine. Now we need to implement our handle option change. So like we have done previously, we will just say this dot call URL. Now what is the URL we want? We want /all/1 and the options. So let us now define our call URL. So call URL is equal to, it takes 2 parameters, URL and options. And what does it do? Like we did earlier, let search string is equal to this dot make search string, the function we had defined earlier on options. Once we do that, we can just say this dot props dot history dot push. And what do we push? Path name is URL and search is search string. So this is the standard implementation. Let's go ahead and test it. So if I select say RAM as 4 GB, we get RAM is equal to 4 GB and we get 4 GB. If I select processor, so we get RAM is equal to 4 GB and processor is equal to i5. If we select hard disk along with it, we just get those options. Here we had also enabled select hard disk. How did we do it? If we go back and check, in our left panel options, in our drop down, the label, we have mapped it to a value equal to empty string. So which means it gives us a falsy value. So that works. So we are able to reset it. So I can do that and all the options go away. So now these drop downs work perfectly fine. What we can also do is just add a button on top which will clear all. So let's just define that. So here in our left panel option, let's just add a button to clear all the options. So let's say div class name is equal to column 12. Within it, let's add a button. Class name is equal to btn primary, btn sm. On click. So on click would be, we can just call our this dot props dot on option change, and with what parameter we can just send it an empty options because we want to clear all of them. And let's just show a text clear all options. Let's go ahead and test it. It's not looking good. Let's just add margin top 2, margin bottom 2, and put a text center here. So now this looks perfectly fine. Let's just choose it. So HP 6 GB, and if I clear all the options, you can see all the options have been cleared. Let's look at the next exercise. Along with the laptops, show a left panel which has check boxes to take the input for query parameters. So this is exactly similar to the previous exercise, the change being that instead of drop downs, we have check boxes. And what this also means that multiple options can now be selected. The drop down had a single select. This can have now multiple options selected at the same time. Whenever an option is changed, navigate to the URL with the specified query parameters. So the rest is very similar. The only difference being that now we have checkboxes instead of drop downs. So just like for the left panel options, we have created another component, left panel options CB, for the checkboxes. And we just have a function make checkboxes which just makes a checkbox. So like we did in the previous case, we will need to show checkboxes for all the options. So let me just copy this part from there. So we get all the options. Next, what do we need to do? Let me just copy this whole thing. And here we will need to say make checkboxes. And what are the parameters make checkboxes takes? It takes the array, it takes values, which will be an array of values. So this values is an array because it can have multiple values. So let's do one thing. Let's initialize all of them. And here we can say all options dot brand, and we will just say brand dot split with comma. So this will give us an array of all the values. Once we have gotten all the values, this should make a checkbox. Similarly, let's do it for the others. So the next would be after brand is RAM. then is processor, then is hard disk, and then is rating. So this should create our render are them. Now we need to define our handle change. So let's say handle change is equal to event goes to, let's destructure it, current target input is equal to E. Let's make a copy also. So let options this dot props dot options. Now here we are getting checkboxes. So all of them are checkboxes. So in the case of checkboxes, we know we need to handle them differently. So let's say if we write the code for first, say if the options dot name was equal to brand. Let's first write the code for it, and then we will see how do we generalize it. So if this was the case, then what should we need to do? We should be able to say options brand is equal to, and like we have done earlier, this dot update cbs, we will create a function which will update it. And what all will we pass to it? We will pass this, the existing array options brand, then we will pass it the input dot checked, and we will pass it the input dot value. This is the standard technique we have been following so far. And let's define this function update cbs. What all does it get? Here note that options brand will be a string, so it gets the string of values. Then what does it get? Or let's call it input value. It gets the checked and it gets the value. Now what are the things we need to do? If checked is true, then we just need to add it to the input value with a comma separator. So what we will do here is, unlike the previous times, because we are getting a value, we will convert that into an array. Let input array is equal to input value dot split. Now the problem here is that this could be undefined. So we could just say input value. If it is truthy, we will use split. Otherwise, input array is an empty array. Now that we have the input array, we can use our standard if checked, then input array dot push value. Else, what do? We find it, let index equal to input array dot find le such that le is equal to value. Once we have found it, we just need to if index is greater than equal to 0, what do we need to do? We need to say input array dot splice index comma 1. and at the end of it we used to return input array. So instead of that, we will just return the string input array dot join the comma. So that's the change we have made. So this will now give us back that string. Now note, in this case, this brand can be gotten from, where can we get this brand? We can just get it from the input dot name. So we could just say here input dot name, and we could generalize it here and say input dot name. So here this should have been input dot name. So this would work for all the CBs. Note, in this case, because there are only checkboxes, so this formula would work, or this methodology will work. Otherwise, we will need to wrap it around those if conditions. So we will need to check for checkboxes and their individual names. Here, because all the handle change is happening on this should work. Once we have done it, we should just call this dot props dot on option change options. Let's test it out. So for testing it, we will need to integrate it. So let's say import left panel options CB from and here in our render, instead of rendering our left options panel, let's render CB. So now let's test it. So if we click on Acer, we get brand is equal to Acer. This is fine. Now if I click on HP, there is some problem. Acer should have been clicked. And if we look at it, we get A, C, E, R. So somewhere in the split or the joins, we have made a mistake. So this should have been input value dot split with a comma. If we don't give it with that, it is splitting it everywhere. I think this should fix it. So let's test it again. So Acer, HP, Dell, yeah, this is working fine. But if I uncheck on HP, that's giving me an error. Let's test our code. Now, why is that happening? So this is where the uncheck should work. So let index is equal to, I have used find. I should have used find index here. So now if we check it again, Acer, HP, Dell. Now if this works fine. The URLs, let's just first test the URLs. They seem to be working fine. And you can see how this is working. And we can just keep on doing our paginations or whatever we want, and this will keep on working with it. So this is how we can just run this, wherein now we have checkboxes, and with every change of it, it is happening. Let's also test our clear options. Is that working? Now if I click on clear options, you can see everything has been cleared and it goes back. Let's test it again. And this is also working fine. We have been seeing some warnings that come when we test our code. So if we go back to our application and just inspect, and on the console, we see that we get this error. Each child in a list should have a unique key property, and we get it multiple times. So let us understand this warning, why this warning comes, and how should we handle it. So this warning comes because React expects us to provide a unique key to every child in a list. So whenever in a JSX we are using a map function, to render an array and we are creating multiple children, we should provide a unique key to it. The preferred option is to use a unique key from the array. From the values in the array, we use a unique value that we are aware of. And in case we are not able to do it or we don't know anything about it, we will use index as the default option. So let's go ahead and see it. So the first error that we get here is that check the render method of navbar. So in the navbar, we are getting this error. Let's go ahead and see and fix it. So here in the navbar, we are using brands.map and this is the child element we are creating, the li. So we should give it a key. So I can say here key is equal to, and what is the value? We know that the names of the brands are unique, so I can give it the value brand here. So now if I save it and if we reload this code, you can see that the first error has gone and now we are getting check the render method of laptops. So let's go ahead and check laptops. In laptops, this is where we are rendering all the laptops in a map. So here let's give us another key is equal to. Now what would be the unique value here? We know the model name is unique, so we can do that. So just ensure that whenever you're giving these values, they are unique. If we go ahead and test our code again, we can see that warning has also gone and now we are getting check the render method of the left panel options CB. So let's check that. So in our left option panels, in the checkboxes, we are using here array.map. So here we should give it a key. Now what is the unique value here? The unique value will be option, so what we are displaying there. So if I now refresh it, we can see all those warnings have gone. So this is how we handle this. The other way we could have done here was, if we did not know this unique value, we could have just said option comma index and then use the index here. So that's the default if we do not get any other way to handle it. Next, if we look at this code and when I click on Acer, I get another warning. A component is changing an uncontrolled input to be controlled. This is likely to be caused by changing value from an undefined to a defined value. So let's look at this warning and let's see how do we handle that. So this warning typically occurs when undefined or null is provided as value to an input field. So whenever we are defining an input field, we are providing it a value. That value should not be undefined or null. So the ways to avoid it is to initialize them to a default value, say for example an empty string or a 0 or whatever default value we can initialize it. And in the case of checkbox and radio, ensure that the value in the checked is either true or false. It should not be null or undefined. So let's go back to our code here. And where are we getting this error? We are getting it in left panel options CB. So let's see, in our left options panel CB, we have the value checked here. Checked is values.find val such that val is equal to opt. Now if the values array was empty or we did not find it, then what does values.find return? It returns an undefined. So now this value checked gets an undefined. So we do not want it to get an undefined. So we will just maybe OR it with a false. So if it is undefined, it now takes the value false. So this is one way to handle it that we can do. Let's test it. So now if I refreshed my code, let's refresh it again. Now if I click on Acer, you can see that that warning has gone. So this is another way to handle it that we can do. If we do not want this and we use find index, In the case of find index, what would have done? We would have said find index should be greater than equal to 0. That is what we would have done. Now notice in this case the value will always be true or false. It will never be null or undefined. So if we use this option, then we will not get this error in the case of a checkbox checked. Let's test it. So now if I click on Acer, we do not get that error. So those are two ways we could have handled it in this example. So whenever you're getting these warnings, ensure that you take care of them. And it also helps us because when we do our console.log, it becomes easier for us to figure it out.